Good afternoon and welcome into Junior LC8 football. It's week 5 here on the Lorain County Sports Network. Max Drummond with you here as we cover 5th and 6th grade tackle football here in the county. I'll be joined by Paul Williams soon as we have the Brookside Cardinals on offense first thrown out to the left side there, getting closer to midfield as we are just a couple plays behind to start this matchup, but now we're in full effect. Like I said, I'll be joined shortly by Paul Williams, and we've got Sam Sovacool on the cam here this afternoon as we bring you the first of our doubleheader this afternoon. Unfortunately, last week we were unable to broadcast either game due to some complications on site. So we're back, though, week 5, as it's a 7-week regular season here in the Junior LC8, as playoffs will then follow that for 3 weeks. So they'll match the high school schedule for the regular season, if you will, and then they will wrap up there as high school begins their playoffs. We had a couple nice games on last night here on the Lorain County Sports Network, and this afternoon we've got a double header for you, so excited to bring you that, as it's feeling a little more like fall, but obviously still a lot of sunshine. Great weather for these kids today, as now Wellington takes over after forcing the punt. So the Dukes are on offense for the first time. We'll see a handoff out the right side, breaking a couple tackles, but chased down by DeVito that time. That's a name we'll call pretty often. Lucas DeVito for the Cardinals, as he's been a very effective player for them this season on the defensive side of the ball. He'll bring up second down and 9 now. As we have a 1 o'clock hour start today. We've had some 3 o'clocks. We've even had a prime time. Don't think we'll get to prime time again until the playoffs come around. But we're still excited to be here on Saturday afternoons in the fall. Just good old-fashioned football here, as now Wellington comes out second down and 9. And there's an issue with the snap there. Quarterback somehow getting away as Gavin Davis is going to launch it, and he finds a man. And that looks like it's going to move the chains. So what looked like maybe a tough play out of the gate ends up as a first down, as Parker Healy was on the receiving end of that one. I want to thank you for joining us here this afternoon and supporting youth athletics here in the county, as there are also a number of organizations and businesses in the county doing the same, supporting youth athletics and helping us get out here to cover these games. They're in the bottom right corner of your screen. You'll hear a little bit more about them this afternoon as we'll talk about them, but just want to remind you to pay them a visit and maybe use their services as they bring you these games every Saturday here in the fall. First down and 10, we'll see a handoff over the left side. That's going to be Braden Pickworth on the carry, as he's going to find his way for another first down here on Wellington's first series of the afternoon. So after Brookside went 3 and out, we've now seen some nice offensive plays here from the Dukes. This Vermillion Stadium in use last night is obviously you'll see the Sailors as well in our second game of our doubleheader, but the varsity team got a big win last night against Sandusky. So we saw a lot. I'm sure the fans saw a lot of running on the field from that last night, and they're seeing a bit more here, but not on that one. That's a pretty big tackle for loss there. And brings up a second down and long now for Wellington. Coming up now, second down, and we'll call it around 13 to go here in the opening quarter of play. Still tied up at 0, as you can see on your screen. A little bit of a motion, and a roll out left. Going to launch it left, and that's caught. Nice little move made as Pickworth continues to get upfield there, so they find a way to get him involved in the passing game after he had a nice run earlier in the drive, as Gavin Davis looked pretty comfortable rolling out that time. So now it brings up a third and very short to go. motion man going out right. And the ball may have hit him or hit the leg of somebody, but either way, Gavin Davis forced to jump on that one. And now what turned into a third and very manageable after they were at second and forever, they moved back and it's a 4th and 3. So likely to still go for it here, but putting a lot more pressure on themselves than they certainly wanted to. So that Brookside defense will prepare and try to get ready here for a stop and get the ball back to their offense. Like I said, 4th and 3, 2 halfbacks, one either side of Davis, and Pickworth will leave the backfield. He's going to roll that side. Pickworth sitting in the flat, and Davis just going to keep it himself. Smart play there to move the chains and keep the offense on the field and keep that drive alive. They'll mark him out of bounds at the 30-yard line, so that's where the offense will get a new set of downs here. As you can see, well, not now, but as you saw for the middle chunk of this drive so far, you saw the V on the field. Big thank you to the Sailors for opening up their home press box for us and giving us use for it. And then obviously having these youngsters use it, get a little Friday night feel, even though the sun's still out. And looks like there was a hard count put into play there, fooled a couple Cardinals, so free 5 yards now. As we'll see the Duke's offense move up, and they'll make it 1st and 5, and they're not even going to re-huddle. They're ready to go. Same play call, I assume. And that handoff, little trouble holding it. Luckily, though, for Wellington, they hop back on it. It appears Jalen Johnson will be the one that recovered that. It appears he may have even gained a yard, so all in all, that play didn't end up going too bad for him. Brings up 2nd down and 4 to go here on the Lorain County Sports Network. Want to remind you to drop a like on this stream, and also don't be afraid to hit subscribe. Don't worry. You won't be added to anything charged or anything like that, as we've got a play going around the right side. That's going to be Blake Pilgrim going towards the pylon, and he's going to make it in from 24 yards out. That's our first score of the afternoon. As what a play, as he just found the sideline. He did not look back, just showing off the speed there. And it now leads to a 6-0 advantage for Wellington. So it looks like they're going to set up here at the 3-yard line. And I want to make sure I'm seeing this. I think I see a T coming out, and they're going to go for a kick here on this point after try. So it does appear Bryce Cottrell will be the holder. He gets the snap, puts it down on the tee. Kick is up. It's got some nice arc to it, and it's good. So Blake Pilgrim not only puts them on top with the score, he kicks the point after attempt, and it makes it 7-0. I do believe I may have to check if those are worth 2 points, because at this level, that is incredible. So as far as we know, 7-0 ball game here, and a very effective start for Wellington. We'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll see the Brookside Cardinals on offense. Back here on YouTube with the Lorain County Sports Network as we cover junior LC8 football this afternoon, as we do every Saturday in the fall here. Well, a little bit of the summer and into the fall. So now we're going to see Brookside get their second chance on offense. A little end around or a reverse trap, however you'd like to call it, since that was a handoff style going to Max Sunyak. And he fights his way forward for around 2 yards. So that's a name we've called a few times when we cover Brookside games, so we know he's going to get the ball. Carter Janda is the quarterback this afternoon. He delivered that handoff there, and they tried to use a little misdirection and maybe catch the eyes of the Duke defenders. But they were able to limit that for a short gain. So now coming out 2nd down and 8 to go. Linemen will get their splits, and we'll have a pistol wishbone of sorts. And that is fumbled. May have been an issue with the exchange there, and Wellington's going to jump on it. And they're going to get the ball right back to their offense. Jacob Kazmerzak with the recovery. As we will now see Wellington on offense once again. Step aside, let the team switch sides, and we'll be back to see what the Dukes have in store for us here on the Lorain County Sports Network, up 7-0. Back here for the second drive of Wellington to start here in plus territory, as we're still in the first quarter. They hold a 7-0 lead and all the advantage and momentum right now after recovering a fumble that Brookside had on their second offensive drive. And even without the turnover, it's been a strugglesome start, as we've just seen a few handoffs so far, but nothing to really stretch the field to this point or change it up at all for the Dukes. So they've been loading the box, and now with their offense on the field, they're going to try to continue pounding away. But they've also shown a little bit of play action. They've been diverse with their play calling. It's been keeping those Cardinals guessing. And even before the play starts, I mean, that's the second procedural penalty we've seen on the Brookside defense, so they may have jumped a little early there. Makes it 2nd and 1. But just like the last time we saw a penalty, no huddle for Wellington. They want to get right back on the line. And Davis will roll out left. He's looking, doesn't see anybody, so he's just going to tuck it and take off. So we've seen him do that a few times, as he's just taking what the defense has given him. And it's led to a pair of first down runs for Gavin Davis on the last drive. He did that on 4th down, so very savvy play there. It's obviously, 2 or 3 yard gains not going to stand out too often in a ball game you're watching or in the stat sheet necessarily. Not that we're keeping stats here, but it adds up to keeping these chains moving and staying on schedule, as it's now 1st and 10 from the 21-yard line here, as they'll have a lot of backs in the backfield. They'll turn and give to the first guy. It'll be Jalen Johnson, so he gets another opportunity to tote the rock, and he gets around 5. And also has to be acknowledged that this Wellington offensive line is really allowing these coaches to call whatever they would like. Wellington breaks the huddle. And to the line at the 17-yard line. Snapback that's going to go around the right side. Pilgrim, where we've seen this before, he's heading towards that right sideline, going for the pylon, and he's going to make it. Another touchdown, the second of the afternoon and in this first quarter here for Wellington, as he puts them up 2 possessions, and we may even see him get another opportunity to kick the point after. That's right, if you're just joining us or if you missed it, Blake Pilgrim not only scored the first touchdown and that one, but he kicked the extra point after that first touchdown, and it looks like they'll give him the opportunity to do it again, as Dominic Kirchmar will be the snapper, Bryce Cottrell the holder, and Pilgrim to kick it. Gets a hold of the snap. Pilgrim approaches up and through. So not only is he 2 for 2, ending drives and touchdowns for the Dukes, he's 2 for 2 on the kicks to follow them. So early on here, 14 to nothing in favor of Wellington, as the Brookside offense will now try to find some answers and see if they can sustain some success and maybe give their defense a bit of a break. So that will bring us to the end of this first quarter, and we'll get ready to head to the second quarter. Shout out Sam on the cam, helping me out with that, and we'll take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll see the Cardinals on offense to open quarter number 2 here on the Lorain County Sports Network. Back here on YouTube with the junior LC8. 5th and 6th grade tackle football as we are entering the second quarter of play. And right there, trying to find something, change the pace up a little bit on that Dukes defense, but nothing going there. And they'll have to regroup in the huddle now. As it's been a tough start here for Brookside this afternoon. But long game to go here, and you know, they've got a couple playmakers on defense that can help flip a game, but obviously offense right now needs to lend a hand. As we'll see a wishbone out of the pistol, turn and hand off. This is going to go to Jackson Free. He tries to navigate through that line, but Wellington, as we mentioned previously, they have done a solid job loading the box and rallying to the football here. So now a third down at 6, and in a spot where you haven't really passed it much at all other than to start this drive. It feels like an obvious passing down, but maybe that's where these Cardinals can fool them. Maybe hit them with a run play or try to get half the yards to go here and turn it into 4-down territory. We'll see what they have in store for us. We'll see a receiver split out either side. And 3 running backs surrounding Janda. And that one is going nowhere, trying to just hand that off and see what Free can get. He's going to lose 4, and that makes it 4th down and 8, and clearly down 2 scores. You may want to try to get something going here so the Dukes can't separate too far, but you don't want to put your defense in too hard of a spot. They've been asked to do a lot already, and it looks like they will do the 25-yard walkout punt. So imagine that'll take it back to Wellington's own 39, but still really solid field position to start this upcoming drive for the Dukes. As you can see, hold that 14-0 lead. And speaking of Dukes, big shout out to one of our producers on Friday nights, Duke, as he got these scoreboards in shape for us and ready for this afternoon. So big thank you to him. Also Sam on the cam, as he's been operating that. And just a solid afternoon and a beautiful setting here in Vermilion High School so far, as each team is rushing out onto the field now. Looks like we may have a false start, so Wellington may have been trying to get set a little too soon that time, as Brookside was a little late getting onto the field. And here at Pat O'Brien Stadium in Vermillion, we got a 14-0 ball game here in the second quarter as I welcome in our partner for the afternoon, Paul Williams. Great to see you, partner.
Hey, good to be back on a beautiful Saturday. Can't wait to see a lot of good action.
And speaking of good action, long ball there to Bryce Cottrell. He gets it over the shoulder, and he gets a nice pick up there to go into plus territory. So this Wellington offense continues to be a well-oiled machine, already up 14-0.
When you're willing to, and you will pass the ball just about as much as you run the ball, it's tough on a defense. And I remember watching Wellington in other weeks. They had the same type of offense. They just have so many weapons out there.
And we've seen that today, and they've used a lot of play action as well. So now coming out in the wishbone. Davis, he's going to tuck that right away, not even looking to pass as he navigates around a few blockers, but Brookside rallies. And they're able to slow that one down for just a gain of around 2.
Yeah, good recognition from Brookside's defense right away. They saw what the play was going to be, swarm the ball, get a couple more stops. They could get the ball back, try to change the momentum of the game so far.
That's definitely what led to their decision to punt on the previous drive, is trying to give this defense a hand as they've been asked to do a lot so far. So now with second down and 9 to go, we'll see a couple subs there for the Brookside defense, and here comes Wellington. So setting up shop here at the 46. With everybody in the backfield or close to the line, we'll see if Brookside tries to swarm them. And I didn't hear a whistle.
I think the players called it themselves. I didn't see any action from the refs.
Yeah, so it looked like on the interior there, Braden Tropkoff for Brookside, he took a step, but I don't think he crossed that line.
I think if he would have just went back and set like nothing happened, they could have ran a normal play. But, yeah, I think everyone stopping and calling it out kind of got that penalty thrown.
So Wellington, they've already got Brookside to jump 2 times on a hard count, so they thought they got the third there. They thought it was third time's the charm, but like you said, you just got to keep playing sometimes.
Yeah.
Wait
Hey,
it out.
that could be the break Brookside maybe needs to get a stop here.
So now behind schedule, 2nd and 14. We'll see Pilgrim motion outright. Davis will roll that way. Throws across his body, and that's going to go over Pilgrim's head. So that's the first time, I believe, we've seen an incomplete pass out of the Dukes today.
Yeah, and that was a tough delivery on the run there. And honestly, even if the ball was caught, they probably don't gain much. So not a big incompletion for the Dukes, but a big stop again for the Cardinals.
And a good job keeping things in front of them, as we saw a couple plays ago when Bryce Cottrell caught that ball along the far sideline and was able to move the chains. So now 3rd and 14, very big play here in this second quarter. And just around halfway through that second quarter, Davis will roll left now, a little more comfortable that way as he lets this one go, and it's just out of reach of his receiver, Palmer. Wyatt Palmer, that is, and it's going to bring up 4th down.
Man, wasn't able to connect there, but Davis ran that play to perfection, sold the fake, and had his receiver where he wanted him. Throw just off by an inch or two, but the good play overall and good call from the Dukes.
And they trusted Davis a lot, and he's taken what the defense has given him a lot this afternoon, just right there, trying to make a big play to move the chains, and instead it looks like they'll do the walkout punt. And when we come back, Brookside will have the ball on the 26 to get another chance on offense here on the Lorain County Sports Network. Back here, just around halfway through the second quarter, as we're seeing some misdirection this time from Brookside's offense as they give it off there to Sunyak. Max Sunyak will get around 2.
Picks up a couple there, but this is a very important drive for Brookside. They need to keep the defense off the field for at least a little bit, try to sustain a drive, put some pressure on Wellington. I mean, the defense got the stop. Now the offense has to do their part.
And it's an offense that really they've turned to the running game a lot here in this opening half, but so far Wellington has just been loading the box, daring them to throw, and we've only seen one pass attempt so far. So gotta wonder if Carter Janda will be asked to do more here with his arm.
Yeah, I mean, there are just points in the game where you have to take some chances. Maybe the Cardinals are coming up on some here.
So now we'll see him spread it out for the first time. Trips out to the right. He's in the pistol, drops back, and Jan's going to take off left immediately. And just a swarming effort there. There's a lot of Dukes in the area, and they'll bring him down for maybe a gain of 1.
Yeah, he had no chance there. Like you said, the Dukes really swarmed there, and great tackle from Wyatt Palmer. Wrapped him up, perfect technique, and a stop for no gain. Now Brookside's against it and might be giving the ball right back to the Dukes.
And they're definitely behind schedule here as it's 3rd down and 9 to go. It's getting a bit windy up here on the lake. Sorry if that came across the microphones, but doing what we can to remedy that.
Came on fast, but this has to be, I mean, if the Cardinals are going to give their quarterback a chance to do something with his arm, this has to be the play.
Gotta imagine we'll see if Janda open it up. So they'll do a reverse pitch around, and they're going to try it with Steven Simpkins.
Wow.
And he makes a couple guys miss, heading at the 40, past midfield. He's got a couple Dukes to beat. He'll be spun around, spun again, and he's going to be tackled, but not after a huge pickup there of close to 35 yards.
Yeah, about a 33-yard scamper there, and it didn't look like he was going to get more than 4 or 5 for a second.
An outstanding run, and it ends with him slow to get up, so coaches will check on him, and we'll step aside as when we come back, the Cardinals will be in plus territory for the first time here this afternoon in the second quarter on the Lorain County Sports Network. Back here after the injury timeout as they were able to help Steven Simpkins walk off the field there. So we'll see if he comes back in this ball game. And before this play, it appears some whistles were blown, and yeah, they'll stop that one. Looks like it may be on the offense.
Yeah, and after a big play like that, their first big one of the game, last thing you want to do is set yourself back to start the next first down. So not the best circumstances for Brookside, but still they're on plus side of the field, and they really have a chance to make something happen here.
Certainly like to see him capture the momentum now as they're back at the 42-yard line. So Janda brings the troops to the line. He's got Jackson Freeg to his right and 2 receivers either side of the formation. Janda will get the snap, Pump fakes one way, throws out the Freak, and he's met immediately. What a hit in the backfield delivered by Jacob Kazmerzak.
Yeah, that was a hit, and it just seemed like Brookside kind of gave away that play even before the snap, and Wellington was all over it from the start. And now that's kind of like another penalty because they lose another 3 or 4 yards.
And now, with that penalty, that they didn't lose the down from those first loss of 5. So, oh, well, check that. They'll make that 3rd and 15. Okay. So, 3rd and around 17 to go here. It's a tough spot behind the chains, well behind schedule. We'll see what they have in store.
Yeah, I mean, they really want to look to get 8 or 9 here to make a 4th down manageable since they should be going for it, I'd imagine, at this point.
So they'll try to fool him here. Maybe as Free gets a handoff straight up the gut, and he'll fight his way forward for a couple. He may have run into his own lineman there, so that never helps things.
Yeah, got about 3 or 4 there. They're still, if they do go for it, it's going to be a tough conversion. Big decision for the Cardinals.
Looks like the refs may be checking their watches here.
3rd down, maybe?
Yeah, so definitely something being communicated between the staffs and the officials. And I was wondering the same thing. So when they had the 1st down false start, then it was 1st and 15. Then they lost 4 yards. That should have made it 2nd and around 17, but instead it's at 3rd and 17. So, but also we're getting closer to halftime. I think there may have been the officials communicating the time. So Wellington took a timeout there. Now the teams will come back out.
So it is still 4th down for Brookside. This is their biggest play so far of the game. They really, really need to try to keep this drive going.
And the offense, as you can see, will stay out there, as Paul alluded to. And they're going to hand this one off to Freeg. And he's not going to get very far. So definitely some issues throwing the ball, as they will avoid that and choose to hand it off instead, and it will turn the ball over on downs, and it may even end the half. So we were a lot closer at halftime than we figured, as we're working without a clock on the scoreboard this afternoon, at least for this game. So we'll see if that changes moving forward. But right now, heading to halftime, the Wellington Dukes hold a 14-0 lead over the Brookside Cardinals here on the Lorain County Sports Network. We'll be back to recap the first half and get you ready for the 3rd quarter here of the Dukes versus the Cardinals on Saturday afternoon with the Junior LC8 Football League. back here for the start of the third quarter on the Lorain County Sports Network as Wellington gets the ball to start, and Pickworth, he's going to go around that left side, and Braden Pickworth fights his way forward for a few to open the third, as that'll get remedied on your screen here in a moment, but really just more of the same following that offensive line here in the start of the second half.
Yeah, it really was, and he only got 3 yards, but he put in a lot of work for that 3 yards. A couple nice moves, spin move. Good positive start for the Dukes in the second half.
And they've been very patient with their offense so far this afternoon and not really in much of a hurry. They've had a couple of big chunk plays, but there's been a lot of methodical nature to get there, as this is a guy who scored 2 touchdowns already, as Blake Pilgrim gets his hands on it, and he gets around 3 or 4, so it makes this third down much more manageable for the Dukes.
And you were referring to them kind of playing and moving methodically on offense, and that's an even scarier proposition for the opposing team when they build that early lead, because then they can really control the game, and that's what they've been doing, it seems, since they first scored in the first quarter.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, as they've really just taken their time and, haven't had to rely on those big plays. It's nice when you get them, but also when you can just eat away time and yardage, they'll take it. Rolling out right is Davis. We'll see him throw it lefty. Oh, it looked like it was almost picked off. I think the Dukes player on offense had to play the defender role that time, Paul.
100%, and I thought Brookside had that one for sure, and man, that could have been a big game-changing play there. Unfortunately, couldn't squeeze it, but still good defensive stop right there from the Cardinals.
As Caleb DeVito was in the area, and he's a guy who in the past has played a skill position, but this year he's been on the offensive line, so he hasn't had too many chances to get his hands on the ball. Right there was that opportunity just about.
Yep, at least Brookside was able to get the stop there,
So they looks like they'll force the turnover on downs. Forgive us, we've been one step behind the chains, I think, this afternoon, so will be the Brookside offense taking the field now.
Yeah, so even with dropping that interception, still the same result. A big stop for Brookside to come out the gate, and besides giving up one decent-sized play, really shut down Wellington on their first drive.
And it speaks to how they were able to respond there. So now the offense comes back out, and they got a little more pep in their step. You could tell when they were coming back to the sideline, they were pretty excited getting that stop.
They get a score here. We got a ball game.
Friegel take it up the middle, and it looked like he had a lot of grass, but just a good job closing in by the Dukes defense, but it's still going to pick up around 6.
Yeah, and I'm keeping an eye out to see if Zachary Little gets back out there. Had the big play in the first half, got injured, but he is on the sideline and does look like he might get a chance to get back on the field.
So now that makes it second down and right around 3 to go from the 35. Definitely the best spot that this Brookside offense has been in all game, as they did, like you said, cross the field on a big play in the first half, but it was very close to halftime. They dealt with an injury during that play, so threw off their momentum a little. But now, see Janda in the pistol. He'll fake it to Freeg. They'll go end around, this time to Jax Garcia, who's going to cut it upfield immediately, swinging through some defenders, and he'll get the first down.
And that's the advantage and why it's so huge to pick up some positive yardage on first down, get it to a second and 3, second and 4, and then you can do things like this, just keep chugging along, moving the lines without having to have a big play each drive. You can still make something happen. And Brookside came out the half looking like a new team on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, and that was a longer developing play, and meant the blocks had to be held in place a little longer, and they certainly were. So giving a little more confidence to this offensive line now could go a long way. And what is just a 2-possession game, it feels like a little more than that, but Brookside, like you said earlier in this drive, can close the gap here. Snap gets back, and that's going to be Jana rolling right. He'll tuck it, trying to get some yardage. Immediately gets through a couple defenders and fights his way forward, but the ball comes out. And as he was trying to gain yardage, maybe fight for that first down, he loses it, and it's going to be picked up, fallen on by Parker Buesler.
And that's the one thing that absolutely could not happen for Brookside. Just a nightmare. great run from the quarterback. Nothing against that, but maybe that last push, I think he might have lost it there. And now, just like that, Wellington's back in full control.
As they will start this drive from their own 20 here in the third quarter. And definitely the most success we've seen out of that Brookside offense. So at bare minimum, they've got some things they can go back to and that they've been able to make happen. So now each team rushing to the line. As Gavin Davis will hand it up the middle to, looks like that'll be Jalen Johnson getting the carry. So he's been getting a lot of the handoffs for those tough yardage and just doing some of the dirty work to help set some other things up.
Yeah, and he seems like he's the type of grinder that you know you're going to get 3 or 4 out of him. Might not hit the home run too often, but he's going to get positive yardage and keep the chains moving.
And so far, it's helped set up, like you said, for other guys like Blake Pilgrim, who does not appear, or there he is. He's on the far right side of this formation in the backfield, but he's got a pair of touchdowns and the extra points that he kicked after the fact. As those were very impressive here for this level. And it looks like we're going to have some laundry on the field there, and it'll move back this play, making it a 3rd and long now for Wellington.
And just last possession, that really helped Brookside when Wellington got a penalty and got moved back 5. Let's see if that, again, could be something that the Cardinals can take advantage of and get another stop here because they can set themselves up with great field position again.
Yeah, even if Wellington does have to do the walkout punt, it would be on their own half of the field. So let's see if Brookside can lock down here. Pilgrim got a motion out right. We've seen this a bit before as Davis rolls right and in the hands, but dropped by Pilgrim, who may not have gotten the first down, but a couple of yards there could have flipped it to the other half of the field on a punt.
And I'll tell you what, the last couple drives of the first half and now these first 2 drives of the second half, Brookside's defense is doing everything they can right now to keep the game close. And like you said, it might feel like it's a bigger margin, but it's only a 2-score game.
And it's a 2-score game they'll try to cut into here as they'll get the ball back at the 45 of Wellington. So a nice stop there, and outside of obviously the last drive ending in a fumble, they were doing everything right, and Wellington really didn't have an answer, so we'll see if they can get back to that here.
Yeah, Brookside at the very least is going to have some more confidence coming out, and they know some reads that really were working on that drive because it was a methodical one. They had 4 or 5 solid plays that really built that drive. It wasn't just one.
So now we'll see each side get back out on the field. And, we've seen a lot of fill in the box by Wellington so far with as many defenders as they can, but this time they'll kind of back off, and they were expecting a pass. It looked like we may have had one. Would have been the first one in a while for the Cardinals.
Yep, second time they started their drive with a penalty and playing for 1st and 15 to open up.
So instead of running their first play out of Wellington territory, they'll be right at the midline here at the 50. Right on top of that Vermilion V, which I gotta say, I know we haven't had too much bad weather lately. I don't want to jinx us, but it looks great for being week 5, halfway through the regular season.
Cannot complain. Looks like next week so far is looking good as well.
And we won't say no to that at all. So now it's 1st and 15 to go.
Or laundry.
Janda is going to roll right back left, and he's going to do what he can to make up some yards here. We'll see what this penalty is in a moment as he's tracked down that time by Parker Healy. So, okay, so it looked like, well, he gave the encroachment symbol, but it looks like he pointed to the offense there. But now, got to see if the Duke's coaching staff wants to accept it because, I think that'll probably go down as a sack, and he lost anyway, and could bring up 3rd down instead. So after a long talk there, they will choose to accept. Well, I think we have.
They declined because it's still okay.
So we had one official set the ball where the tackle for loss happened, but the other two are telling them, bring it back. So now we'll repeat second down.
And on only second down, Brookside has somehow flipped the field on themselves, and they're deep now into Vermillion.
That they have, and Wellington's coaching staff may have taken that into account if they can force a punt. That ball going over the head of the running back as it just went through the hands of Jax Garcia, and Janda's forced to jump on it, losing even more yardage there.
Man, and just a disheartening start to this drive for Brookside. And if we know anything from some of the situations in the first half, when they're third and long like this, most likely they're probably going to just run it and be giving it right back to the Dukes. But we'll see if they try something tricky.
As they're taking their time here to get the play in. Janda waits in the huddle for his receiver. Looks like Steven Simpkins will re-enter the game. Got to wonder where that play clock is at right now, as they may have to hurry.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the goal is right now.
So they'll come up here, and they'll have 3 running backs behind Janda, or around him, I should say. And on third and forever, snap is back. They will pitch it and then end around, as looked like right there, Jason Brudout had to avoid his own quarterback, cutting upfield, and he'll fight ahead to maybe the 43.
And that play actually opened up the other side of the field. Looked like he might have had a chance to get some extra yardage, but great job by Wellington getting to the ball and making a good form tackle.
So it'll force another punt here. So we've seen a few of those in this second half, as we're still in the third quarter, and I'd imagine we're getting close to the ending of it. But right now we'll get back on offense for Wellington.
Yeah, both offenses so far in the second half, outside of one Brookside drive, just haven't been able to get much going. The Dukes playing with the lead. Let's see if they keep it conservative or try to get their offense backfiring like it was early on in the game.
So I think we just heard 1:40 left in this third quarter. So we appreciate that. I believe it may have come from an official or a coach, not sure, but big thank you to them, as we're working without a scoreboard this afternoon. And now the Dukes back on offense. Davis, play action. Sidearms it almost out to the left as Pilgrim gets a hold of it, cuts back across the formation, makes one man miss, and went a long way to get 9, but a nice play to start the drive.
Man, Pilgrim truly is electric. Anytime he has the ball in his hands, you know something special could happen. And I've seen so many variations now of Davis throwing the ball. I don't know what his natural throwing form is.
Yes, and we've seen him have to do it from all angles, like you mentioned, even across his body sometimes. Is, you don't see the southpaw too often, but he's been able to make it work here so far.
Yeah, very impressive for his age. Has a lot of things he could develop into, and good start for Wellington's drive. They really needed that after 2 stalled drives to start this half.
Now they'll hand it off, as that'll be Braden Pickworth around the left side. Tried to follow some blockers, but DeVito blowing that one up, and also good job by Colin Kurtzman there, blowing up the receiver, trying to lead block.
Yeah, just DeVito just giving Wellington no chance to move things forward, even though it looked like for a second they might be able to push and get a couple extra yards. DeVito was not having it, and great job by him. Brookside, again, their defense seems to come through when it needs to.
So they gave him enough for the first down, and that'll be the end of the third quarter. So we'll flip the field, and when we come back, we'll see the Dukes remaining on offense with a 1st and 10 to work with here on the Lorain County Sports Network. fourth quarter getting underway here from Vermilion, as we've got a potential issue with the exchange there. Somehow Pickworth able to get it back from his quarterback, and they turned what could have been a disaster of a play into a nice pickup there to start the fourth quarter.
Yeah, ended up getting 4 or 5 yards there, and that 4 or 5 yards is about as impressive as it can get with how they started that play.
So after that run was finished, there is a player down, so we will take a quick timeout for an injury, and we'll be back here shortly with Junior LC8 football coverage on the Lorain County Sports Network. We're back from injury timeout here. Second down and 6 to go with the Dukes remaining on offenses. That's a heave of a throw, but great job tracking that down by DeVito. He just came in out of nowhere and swatted it.
Yeah, DeVito, a very big kid, and he uses every inch of that length and that arm width, and just another great defensive play by him, who's been leading this defense all game.
Yeah, it looked like the receiver there, I believe, was Cottrell, I want to say. Looked like he may have had some an opening there if he got a hold of it, but the quarterback Davis put everything on that he could, and it still wasn't enough to get past the outstretched arms of number 10. So that makes it 3rd and 7 to go here.
And Wellington got to try to get something going. They haven't been able to really move the ball much in about the past 4 or 5 drives.
So it'll be a throw out to Pilgrim, who's forced to cut back all the way, and now he's just going to try to weave through that defense. Gets what he could. And it'll make it 4th down now, and now Wellington, nursing this 14-0 lead, has a choice to make.
Yeah, and don't look now, but if Brookside can get the ball back, there's still time to really make this a game. Let's see if they can either get a big stop here or get the punt.
Davis will bring a play into the huddle.
Okay. Play of the game so far.
So from their own 48 up 2 scores, they're going to go for it here on around 4th and 5. Motion is Pickworth. They're going to roll left to that side. He's got Pickworth open in the flat, but he's going to take off, use him as a blocker, and he tiptoes down the sideline. And that's a back-breaking play for Brookside.
It really, really is. And their defense has stood up almost all game, but couldn't there. But kudos to Wellington on the play call. When you have a quarterback like Davis that can run as well as and throw as well as he can, those are the opportunities you're going to have because the defense always has to stay honest.
Well, and he's been very smart this afternoon, not forcing a lot of plays. And as I mentioned during the play, Pickworth was open, but he went for the sure thing. He didn't want to risk putting the ball in harm's way. And it's not always something you'll see from a quarterback this young. So it looks like the same play here. This time he unleashes it down the sideline, and that's just over the head of his receiver. So just as we were talking about taking care of the ball, he puts it up there, but falls incomplete.
Yeah, there's been a couple throws, and it seems like it's when he's on the run, really moving to his left, but a couple throws that he knows the receiver's open. He throws it in the right direction, but it's just off an inch or two. And if he can get those in line, this Wellington offense is going to be even scarier.
Yeah, we know there's a couple offenses in this league that you're going to have to keep up with and match them for points. So Wellington trying to work out the kinks of that here while we're still in the regular season. This time he's just going to hand it off to Pilgrim as he did try to sell another play action. He almost had me going for a sec.
And just another good play for Wellington to make this one a manageable third down. It looks like it's going to be about third and 4.5. And with the way Wellington runs the ball and plays offense, they have 2 downs to get the first down. So looking like they're in good shape at the moment.
Definitely agree there, as they've done a good job of just trying to get to the sticks, not really worrying about too many explosive plays. They're trying to force them. So now we've got pretty much a wishbone in the backfield, and Johnson, he's going to get the handoff this time. Jalen Johnson is going to fight his way ahead, and it looks like he's going to get enough there. So they'll mark him down at the 34, and that's another Duke's first down. And when I say another, it's obviously the second one of this drive, but we haven't seen too many of those here in the second half.
Yeah, and it seems like the Wellington just always finds enough to get the first down. They're usually just maybe a yard past the first down marker, but they get it done, and that's what matters.
And it's been working to bleed this clock down. And now we'll see a timeout from Brookside.
Yeah, and speaking of getting it done, the Cleveland Guardians in the first inning, Jose Ramirez with a solo shot to take a 1-0 lead as the Tigers trail 3-2 in the fourth inning against the Braves.
Man. September baseball, it's the second best thing behind October baseball. That's incredible. I mean,
gotta love it. We
wow.
we went through the whole playoff run together last year in the booth for most of it, and now the playoffs have already started theoretically for the Guardians.
It's like it's meant to be. Junior LC8, Guardians playoff baseball. And, you know, in case you are somewhat new around here, if you haven't had a chance to hear it yet, the new Lorain County radio home for the Guardians, that's right, Tom Hamilton, Jim Rosenhaus. You can hear them every game on 1320 AM and 107.7 FM as WOBL has been carrying them all season long. Will continue to carry them, so you can hear exciting calls like that. Maybe have the game on the background while this is on your screen. Just a suggestion.
Perfect Saturday.
And yeah, and you can catch up on that and stay in the know on the playoff race, as we've got some whistles here. It looks like we'll have a penalty there out of this timeout. And it's going to go against the offense, so you never obviously want to see penalties, but certainly not out of the timeout or out of a break like that.
Yeah, especially when you're just really trying to control the game and waste out a lot of the clock. You just really want to see a clean drive and or limit mistakes.
So Braden Pickworth will take it around the outside as he dances through a few defenders. So they get the penalty yardage back there and make it a second down and 10 to go.
And I really don't know if there's an offense in this league that can just so frustratingly just hit you for 5, hit you for 4, hit you for 8, hit you for 5, just over and over like this Wellington team can. And as you said, they're still working out some kinks as they get ready for playoffs now, just a month away. But this offense does look like it could be a problem.
And you know, we've seen a couple of big plays, but like you said, it's been a lot of the just shorter gains that have been breaking it down. So now Davis looks for one of those big plays that we haven't seen too many of, but it'll go incomplete as he was getting chased down by Caleb DeVito. And both players are slow to get up here. You never want to see that, as the coaching staffs will take a look at them. So we'll step aside for a moment here in the fourth quarter on the Lorain County Sports Network. returning to action here in the fourth quarter as we have a new quarterback in the game filling in for Gavin Davis. But right now it's Pilgrim as he makes one man miss going around that right side. He's fighting ahead and he's speeding forward for a huge pickup there on a 3rd and 11 where you're probably just trying to maintain and keep some clock moving.
Man, a tough penalty, injury to your quarterback, come out of that timeout, no problem. When you have a guy like Pilgrim, this is the type of stuff that can happen, and just a huge play for the Dukes. And it's got to be a very disheartening play for Brookside, whose defense has been top-notch all half.
And that right side, when they've been heading towards the scoreboard and in the victory bell over there, it has been the sweet spot for Pilgrim as both his touchdowns came running along that right sideline, and they wisely go back to it. So now under center remains Parker Buessler as he's filling in for Davis, who was injured a couple plays ago, and this time they're going to give it to Pickworth around the left, and he's just shoved down. Ball came out, but it looks like the official will say he was down.
Yeah, like you said, he was literally shoved down, and it looked pretty clear that it was the ground that made that ball come out.
And the young man tracking him down and bringing him down ultimately. Once again, Caleb DeVito, he was also in on the forcing Gavin Davis a few plays ago to get rid of the ball early and force some pressure as he just goes sideline to sideline for that Cardinals defense.
Yeah, it's nice to see him out there still doing that after looking like he got a little shaken up a couple plays ago, but you couldn't tell on that last one.
You certainly couldn't. And now with 2nd down and 11, we'll see how aggressive they try to be in there. That I was wondering if that would pop up at all. The timing can always be thrown off a little bit when you've got the starting center and a backup or a new quarterback. And in any case, and right there, they had a problem with the exchange.
Yeah, and those are things, even the coach knows that you just got to be prepared for. It's going to happen once in a while. But, this is also a good situation to work that type of stuff out in a live game, but a game that you're in decent control and with the clock now rolling, it's got to be under 5 minutes in the fourth quarter.
As we're in the final frame here, and as you can see, Wellington does hold that 14-0 lead. Both scores came in the first half off of lengthy Blake Pilgrim touchdown runs. So it's 3rd and 11, and they're going to do some play action. We've seen a lot of this from Davis this afternoon. Buessler is going to try his hand at it, and he'll tuck it down and gets about around half of the yardage to go until the marker, but it will bring up a 4th down.
Yeah, right decision, I think, though, by Buessler. He read the defense. They weren't committing to coming to stop the run. We're staying with the pass, so he had no other choice, and he did make the right decision there.
And obviously with the walkout punt out of the question here, they will keep the offense on the field. Now, we've seen some kicks out of Blake Pilgrim, but they've been a PATs from the 3-yard line right in front of the goalpost. Do you think they give him a shot here?
It looks like it, and I'm excited to see. With all he does, I feel pretty confident for the kid.
It's Pilgrim, a 6th grader. And
Mr. Do-It-All.
He's going to kick it at an angle. As you were saying, just short, just wide left. As he, I think, had that set up for around like a 22-yard field goal. So, obviously, that's sometimes not even a gimme at the high school level. He got pretty close.
Hey, did you see the Browns in week 1? It's not a gimme at the NFL level, I'll tell you that much.
Definitely not.
But yeah, I just like seeing them, giving him a chance there. Even if he missed it, he showed that he wasn't far off. He could have hit that.
Yeah, and if I'm Coach Howells over at Wellington High School and somebody shows me that, I'm like, all right, we're going to keep working with him. Let's have that in a couple of years ready.
Yeah, that'll get him a spot on varsity as a freshman.
Yeah. So
even though he doesn't need any extra help to get on varsity with the skills he has.
That is true. He's got a lot of speed, and we are getting closer to the end of this ball game here. Still holding a 14-0 lead as Brookside will come back out with 3:02 to go. Big thank you to Sam for relaying that information. Don't know where we'd be without Sam Sovacool. As now we're 1st and 10 here. Banda going to throw out left side, and it's in the hands, but it's going to fall incomplete there to start this drive.
I mean, I do like to see Brookside finally starting to open it up on a drive. I fear it might be a little late on that decision, but yeah, it's exciting to see what they might do here the rest of this drive.
So we're looking the way of Jason Bredout right there. But unfortunately for him, Braden Pickworth was following him the whole way, jumped on his back, and was able to break that one up. So now it's second down and 10 to go as the Cardinals break their huddle. So as we've mentioned a couple times, we've got a doubleheader this afternoon. Coming up next, as we will start a new stream after this one is over, but it will be the hosting Vermilion Sailors taking on the Oberlin Phoenix. As we'll see Freeg get another carry as he fights forward for a few, but they're over there weighing in right now on the opposite end zone. And we'll get to see, I think we'll get to see Vermilion for the first time this season. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, saw Oberlin a few weeks ago. Saw some good things out of them. I think they're a team that could surprise some teams around this league. They have a capable offense, and their defense isn't far behind.
Yeah, as they took on Columbia back in week 2.
Yep, it was a good one.
So we're getting a chance to see them again. And now, here on 3rd and 5, a little swing pass out to the left as Simpkins trying to get away, but we said his name a couple plays ago. We'll say it again, Braden Pickworth not letting him get anywhere, and they'll lose around 5.
And that's a tackle that's going to make a coach very happy. I mean, he committed to that and was not slipping or letting his man slip out of that tackle. A big play for the Dukes, and a stop here could pretty much seal the deal.
So they'll try to ice the game on what is a 4th and 11 officially from the 10. And a lot of these passes, they've been very quick hitting, fast developing. It's kind of played into the hands of Wellington, who's only got 3 down linemen every given play.
It definitely has.
So they'll hand off to Freeg, try to attack that light box here, but he's going to be stuffed after around 5 yards. So that'll bring another Brookside drive to an end. And we'll see the Wellington offense come back out after we return from injury timeout here on YouTube with the Lorain County Sports Network. So we'll just have a couple kneel downs here as they were able to get the injured Duke off the field, and he was able to walk over to the sideline. And, you know, he may have had a bumper bruise, but he's going to feel a lot better knowing that they won the ball game today, 14-0, as they pick up a win over the Brookside Cardinals. As next week we will be out at in LaGrange at Keystone High School, and we will see. We won't see either of these two teams again. I'm getting ahead of myself, but we will see both of them in our regular season finale in week 7. So we'll see these teams again in 2 weeks, but they won't be playing each other. And right now, Wellington will have the bragging rights before a potential playoff matchup. We'll see if they see each other again. But here from Vermilion High School, we will bring to an end this first stream of the afternoon. And in a few minutes, we will start a new one. So if you are looking for Vermilion versus Oberlin. We'll have that for you very shortly. But your final, 14-0, Wellington over Brookside here in Junior LC8 football on the Lorain County Sports Network. We'll talk to you soon.